JPEGMAFIA and Danny Brown, Scaring the Hoes, Volume 1. Yeah, I can't believe this album is here. When they first announced it, it easily became one of my most anticipated albums of the year. JPEGMAFIA has been one of my favorite rappers since he put out Veteran, which was in 2018, so 5 years ago. And every single project from him since I've loved. All My Heroes Are Cornballs, all the EPs that he put out, and of course LP was maybe my favorite album of 2021. He has such unique, one-of-a-kind production, and I just love what he raps about, whether that be internet culture, pop culture, going at alt-right weirdos, and of course the wrestling references. I love the wrestling references. And then when it comes to Danny Brown, one of my favorite rappers of all time. I don't think there's ever been another rapper like him with his personality and the incredibly ambitious sound that he's made in his music. Atrocity Exhibition, one of my favorite albums, Triple X 2, and these two are just so weird and creative musically that the pairing of them both just makes so much sense. Yeah, this is every nerdy hip-hop fan like myself's biggest dream album, I think, so I just can't wait to listen to it. So without further ado, JPEGMAFIA and Danny Brown, Scaring the Hoes, Volume 1. Let's go. All right, track 1 is Lean Beef Patty. I already heard this one. It was the first single, the first teaser for this album. I like it. I think it goes hard. Listening to it in context of the album anyway. The classic Diddy sample.
First off, fuck Elon Musk, $8 too much, that's expensive.
Starting off the album in your first bars are first off, fuck Elon Musk. It's pretty iconic. Oh, that drop. Yeah, that drop in those drums. Oh, man. Hey. And that switch up, too. I think that one verse had like 3 wrestling references. Tony Khan, Hulk Hogan, and Iron Sheik. Always love the wrestling references from Peggy. I just caught that Busta Rhymes line. Yeah, I think that's going to be a really good taster. Like, it's not too long of a track. One of the shortest on the entire album from what I see. Straight to the point. Peggy comes in, rapping his ass off. So many good one-liners. The drop on that beat is incredible. Danny's part is short, but he brings a lot of energy. I've been playing that track a lot. I love it. I think it's great. So, yeah. Track 2, Step a Pig. 2 + 1, just stop. I'm up late, no talk show. Things pop up. I'm never close to it. Brand slow. Oh. Whoa. What? This bass is going incredibly hard and Danny sounds really good over it. Oh. There's so much stuff going on. Ooh, those synths. Oh, man. What? Was that a Kai Cenat bar? Only Peggy. Oh. Yo. Hey. Whoa. These niggas act like I owe them. Oh. These niggas be dick riding for grown ass men that don't even know them. Oh. They don't boring. I don't fuck with you niggas like Hogan. Trigger figure just be glitching his program. The Hogan line again? Back-to-back tracks, the same Hogan line? Okay. Taking shots every day like DeRozan. Hey. Okay. Wow, that track had a lot of different stuff going on. The production from Peggy, I don't think I've ever heard him produce a track like that. The sample, the synths, the bass, there was so much going on. Danny came in on the first half, a lot of energy. It was a little bit difficult to hear him. I think the more I go back to the album, the more I'll be able to pick up on his parts and some of his bars. The BBC line did stick out to me, though. That one was hilarious. Peggy's verse was a lot longer on that one and definitely a lot more bars. I picked up on that Kai Cenat bar, like so random but also really fire. But like generally good track, went super hard. Track 3, the title track, Scaring the Hoes. I already heard this one because it was the second single and I did really like it, so playing it anyway. Such weird clapping. Stop scaring the hoes. Play that shit out and touch their toes. How the fuck you supposed to make money off this shit? Hey. You wanna be an MC? That saxophone is so off kilter, but it works so well. Oh. Drums so good. Oh. Oh, yeah, that track definitely lives up to its name. The sax is so strange, but it works so well. And even though this track is titled Scaring the Hose, I actually do think the hook in the chorus is really catchy, to be honest. Stop scaring the hose. We don't want to hear the weak shit no more. I love how they're just playing into the meme, too. Love that. Still enjoy that one just as much as I did when I originally heard it. Track 4, Garbage Pale Kids. Is that Mario? Oh. Oh. Oh my goodness. This sample. Jeez. Oh. Ooh, yup. Kind of a classic Peggy. Oh, this sample is awesome. Oh my goodness, it's going off. Sheesh. Man, that production was great. That little vocal sample, I love that addition. The riffs were great. Bass was great. I like Danny a lot on there, especially his opening line. That one kind of stuck out to me. But when Peggy came in, he kind of went off. That's already a track I can't wait to go back to, honestly. Track 5, Fentanyl Tester. Oh. Is that Khalees sample? Oh. What? Eating whippets? Yo, this beat is so glitchy and distortive. Kind of incredible. Oh. Okay. What is going on with this production? Oh, yeah. Oh, the Khalees sample. Okay. Ooh. Oh, what a glitchy, distorted track. I think that was the most coherent I heard Danny on the album so far. Loved his verse, though. Peggy came out the gate swinging. Yeah, that's a 5 for 5 so far, I think. Track 6, Perfect. Not perfect, but perfect. Like NASCAR, nigga, you bet not go. Oh. But you better get your mind right, boy. Let us see all over that wing. Okay. Oh. Oh. Hey. Oh. Ah. Oh man, this might be one of my favorites so far. Oh, that one was pretty short, but one of my favorites so far. The horns were such a good addition. That one sounded like it was trying to be an anthem. Both of them just kind of braggadocious rapping on that one. Fire. This album was off to a fire start. Track 7, Shut Your Bitch Ass Up / Muddy Waters. Oh, that opening line, I don't rap circles, I do figure eights. Oh. McDonald's on. Oh man, that sample is nuts. Uh-oh. Oh. 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 Black AOC. Love that. Love that for him. This speed switch was fire. Ooh. Kind of a two-parter there. Shut Your Bitch Ass Up, Danny's part, and then Muddy Waters, Peggy's part. Like, so far, the production, I've been so impressed. Like, I've always loved Peggy's beats. He's doing a lot of sampling on here. I think more than he's ever done before, and I'm really liking that. The samples that he used on Danny's parts were sick, and then how it transitioned to that second half also really sick. Love Danny's opening line to start that verse, and a lot of lines I caught from Peggy too. The Say Cheese one, Black AOC was hilarious. Another one I loved. Track 8, Orange Juice Jones. More samples.
She just took my style all out of my body. I've been rolling all night, saying I'm good.
So much personality here on this Danny verse so far.
Taco dripping on the floor. If the miss your people style, I'm chill before we up that.
Wait, I gotta replay that taco line.
Up that Casamigos got her taco dripping on the floor. If the miss your people so rain base.
Love this Danny verse.
I've been rolling all night, saying I'm geeked up. Acting too
Hey, dangerous. Swang with us, sang with us, them niggas can't hang with us. The same as us. I'm up with BCD. They putting out APG.
Hey.
I'm the black Marjorie Taylor Green.
What? So the last track, he says he's the black AOC, and then on this track, he's saying he's the black Marsha Taylor Greene. Only Peggy, man. Only Peggy.
I'm still taking threes. I see the lies, and I hope y'all believe it. Confront me, and I can suck this shit.
Loved how soulful that one was. A little bit Madlib-esque on the production. Classic XXX Danny on that one. I think this type of style fits him perfectly. This is right up his lane. Both of them hilarious and charismatic on that song. Like, the taco line from Danny was ridiculous. The Marsha Taylor Greene line from Peggy was ridiculous. I think they bounced off each other really well on that song. The sample too, man. That sample was so damn good. Track 9, Kingdom Hearts Key, featuring Red Veil, the lone feature on the album. I think this is awesome for Red Veil. He had one of my favorite rap albums from last year. He's so incredibly young. I've seen him live a few times too. He's great. I imagine this is probably like a really cool moment for him. So let's see what this track's about. Whoa.
Get flesh to the blade. Shut a trigger, go give me a ring. You got money, you took
Whoa.
I was chilling one time. Do not ever just one time.
Oh my god, this sample is gorgeous.
I feel like I'm just one time. Bitch,
Ooh. The hairline. I've never played Kingdom Hearts before, so maybe this is a sample from the game. Sounds like a Japanese sample, maybe. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. All right. Honestly, I know a lot of people had complaints about the mixing on the first two singles. Danny is definitely mixed a little bit low here, but I'm just like so focused in and enamored with the production on this first listen so far for like most of the tracks. I think once I go back to the album more, I'll pick up on more bars. But yeah, it does kind of sound like Danny's a little bit low here, but I could still make out some of the bars. Let's see what Red Veil does. Oh yeah. Oh. Damn, that was one of the most pretty beats on the album by far. And how the bass came in on it too was nice. Definitely seemed like the vocals on that one were a little bit low, but also I think the production was just so striking, and maybe Peggy did that on purpose, you know, wanted to make the beat stand out a little bit more. Definitely want to go back to that one. Definitely gonna have to go and read some of the lyrics, I think, throughout some of the songs on this album after a second listen for sure. But yeah, really pretty track. Track 10, God Loves You. Oh. Going to church on this one? Oh, a damn Peggy? I don't remember the last time I heard a damn Peggy, to be honest. It's been a few albums. Let's go. Check. Love all the religious references and how it portrays to sex from Danny, man. Just good stuff. Adam and Eve, I'm gonna eat that apple bottom.
how many times I gotta tell you when I get to the money, but it come back fast. Shit. What that pussy like Baptist? 2 miles off, need an L.
Ski mask? Oh. Oh my goodness, another amazing track. The gospel sample was too good, and then how he added in the bass with it. And I loved how they related a bunch of religious references to sex. Incredibly fun track with a great sample. Man, track 11, Run the Jewels, the shortest track on the album. Barely a minute long, but let's see what they do. Oh. Sax showing up again. Man, I like that track while I was on. It was just too short. The sax was awesome. Peggy sounded mean as hell on it. I just wish that one was a lot longer. But there was aspects that I liked about it. Track 12, maybe the song I was anticipating the most once I saw the track list. Jack Harlow, Combo Meal. I don't think there's gonna be a song with a better title than that this year. Oh, a little bit jazzy. True. There will never be anyone ever like Danny Brown, ever. Oh, come on, man. Leave Jack alone. Really pretty beat. Love this piano. Oh, there we go. Yes. Love when Peggy sings, man. It's the first time he's done it so far on this album. I wish we had more of that, but love that. Love when he sings.
Yeah, your bag is looking like shit. Your bag is looking like shit. That ass is looking like shit. Not interacting with you on the screen like I'm Christopher Nolan.
Christopher Nolan bar. And the piano on that one. Jazzy. Peggy's trying out a lot of different things on the production throughout this album. I haven't said anything about it so far, but the both of them have had really, really good chemistry throughout, feeding off of each other's verses. I love how Peggy broke down to the singing part on his verse and then went back to the rapping. One thing I loved about EP2, I think it was, is all of the singing that he was doing on the album. And Cornballs too. There was a lot of singing on Cornballs as well. One of my favorite things that he does. That one is definitely a highlight for me. Track 13, Ho, which stands for Heaven on Earth.
Go ahead, girl, put that bomb in the bag. These niggas is trash. Baby ass, sit out. She touching my leg, I know she wanna fuck. Taking it down till she feel like it's us. Die for my bitch, you got like a
Oh.
I'm not a bad rapper, I'm just sleeping niggas.
Hey.
Ooh. If I was them, I'd be pissed.
My dog could have charged with the fentanyl. Now you break up to a vibe. We making a killing. How long will that last? Fell on my knees when I call a felony.
Oh man, the past few tracks have had really strong gospel influences that I'm picking up on.
Hey, bitch. Fuck away. Got here.
Nice. Ooh. Soulful gospel sample and more chords. Yeah, another track that had really strong gospel influences from the chords to the choir. I think the album cover is starting to make a little bit more sense here. Also like how Peggy broke out into that little singing part in the middle of his verse once again. Like Danny on there too. Definitely gonna have to go back to the verses on both of their parts. Dope track overall. Now finally, the last track, track 14. What an album this has been so far. A really good first listen. Track 14, Where You Get Your Coke From.
She got me out my zone.
Okay.
That shit, that ass. This house is not on my double fist. Fuck you talking about?
Oh.
That bitch let anybody in. She like the army. Off top on your bitch like Darby.
Letting anyone in like the army line, fire. Also, what's a JPEGMAFIA album without a Darby Allin reference? What? The sample.
I'm a failed chemistry experiment. Took some acid playing Jimmy, or you experience.
Oh.
What's the fun clearance? I know what incoherent niggas know I'm a degenerate. Wake up every roast.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, walls 1,000 years later, they can break it.
The breakdown, like, oh. Oh. What? What a closer. I think that was one of both Danny and Peggy's best performances on the album. Like that bass section that was kind of going on and off, insane. There was like a weird sample breakdown in the middle and some other breakdowns on other parts of the song. So much going on, but so much I liked. Yeah, off first listen, I thought this was incredible. I gotta listen to this more. I think the more I listen, the more I'm gonna pick up on some of the bars, because off first listen, I was really taken back by the production. Definitely a type of project I'm gonna have to listen to more before I can give my final thoughts, but I did have a really good first listen. Final verdict on this brand new album from JPEGMAFIA and Danny Brown, Scaring the Hoes after repeated listens. Yeah. This album is incredible, and I would go as far to say probably my favorite album so far this year. I'll start off by saying this is probably some of Peggy's most unique and interesting production. Super sample heavy, which is stuff that he's tried in the past, but I don't think he's done it as much as he did on this album. Just so many different sounds all over the place, but in the best way possible. I also love all of the gospel elements that show up on the second half of the album. I've always loved his production, but with this album, he just left me even more impressed. And then when it just comes to the rapping on this album, it's just what we know best from both Peggy and Danny Brown. With Danny, you get the hilarious bars with the incredible energy, and then with Peggy, you get all the mean bars with the references to wrestling, to pop culture, to internet, and together, they just work so well. I already knew with some of the stuff that they've done in the past that they would just be a perfect match, and also just the fact that their styles just make so much sense together, but they really did just surpass my expectations with the amount of chemistry they had throughout this album and how they fed off each other. And when it comes to the track list, I already love the two singles, Lean Beef Patty and Scaring the Hoes. The title track in particular, Scaring the Hoes, probably one of the weirdest tracks on the entire album with the off-kilter horns, but I love it. Perfect, one of my favorite tracks on the entire album, just such an anthem. Shut Your Bitch Ass Up in Muddy Waters 2, the transition in the middle is incredible. Kingdom Hearts Key with Red Veil has maybe my favorite beat on the entire album. It's gorgeous. The only track maybe I don't love as much as everything else is Run the Jewels, but that's just because it's so short, but there are still a tons of elements I love about it. I just wish it was longer. God Loves You, love what they did with that one and all the hilarious references to religion. And then Where You Got Your Coke From is just a insane, absolutely insane way to end the album. I think both of them definitely had to be on coke to make a track like that. But yeah, that's it. Overall, really impressed by this album. Danny and Peggy really delivered. One of my favorite projects so far this year, and I have no doubt that will also be the case by the time the year is over. Shout out Danny, shout out Peggy for continuing to push boundaries when it comes to their music and their albums. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Those are my final thoughts. If you guys want, you can hit that subscribe button down below. Follow me on all my socials, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, all that, and I'll see you guys soon.